this fluid, I guess, accumulating around her heart, and her circulation is given up. It sounds like she's gone. It's a few hours drive from Maple Creek to Lethbridge. That's what she's going back and forth. Is your feeling? Yeah, it did go up to an end. It's only going one way.
My onesie?
Your husband away again.
Okay, he hates them. Oh, he's like, those are stupid. Is that a onesie?
Those are so stupid. They're fun.
Well, they don't wear
Comfortable.
Yeah.
You don't like them, don't wear
Exactly.
them.
Okay, should we get started? I think we shall. Okay, so coffee. There was this article in the yoga journal that I read yesterday that said that the top two things not to consume when you're practicing yoga is coffee and tea. I'm like, yeah, wrong. I don't know who wrote it. They don't know what they're talking about.
We're looking for improvement, not perfection.
I'm like, who doesn't drink something? Anyways, okay. So you guys can start laying down. And just taking our knees into a bent position so you can flatten your feet. Try to get really good connection underneath the bottoms of each foot. And we're going to take our left foot up to the ceiling here right away. And you can just draw some circles to warm up through your ankle. And then just switch. So just place your foot down. Take the right foot up. And just see if you can start to connect with your breath. So take a few deep breaths in through the nose. And then place your foot down. And just some gentle windshield wipers here. So we're going to see if we can connect the movement with the breath. Just go through it a couple times and then see if you can start to inhale as you come to center with your knees and exhale as you let your knees drop to the side. And just try to find the best range of motion that you can this morning. So you certainly don't have to go all the way down, but just finding something that feels nice across your low back. And then let's come back to the center. We're going to take a good morning stretch. So lengthening arms towards the back of the room. Point your toes. Get as long as you can. Try to imagine you're being pulled in opposite directions, and then we'll do the total opposite, and we will draw our knees to our chest. Good. And then just place, again, both feet to the floor. We're going to take our feet all the way to the edges of the mat. Bring your hands to your belly, and then just allow your knees to relax towards each other. And just hang out here for a few moments. Practice breathing into your belly. So sending your air, it's that candy cane shape, in through the nose, all the way down towards your diaphragm. And just feel your belly rise as you inhale and relax as you exhale. And see this morning if you can relax the muscles of your face. So just notice if you're holding any tension through your forehead or your jaw. And then we'll just gently draw our knees apart. Heel toe your feet all the way to the center of your mat. And come into reclined butterfly. So just taking the hips in the opposite direction. You can keep your hands to your belly, or you could extend your arms overhead. That's a good one as well here, just to open the rib cage again. See if you can relax your glute muscles just a little bit, or at least notice where you're holding tension. I know this is sometimes an intense stretch off the bat. See if you're able to relax your inner thighs, your glutes, your hips. Take one more breath. And then just gently drawing our knees back towards each other and drawing both knees into the chest again here one more time. So rocking side to side, you can start to go forward and back and maybe make your way all the way up to seated. Awesome. So we're going to sit one ankle forward. It doesn't matter which ankle you put towards the front to begin with, and just take your hands onto your lap. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Just try to sit nice and tall. And then let's let our chin drop towards our chest. We're just going to draw some circles. So pick one direction up and around. Why don't we go a couple of times? And then just pause when you get back to the bottom of the circle, so chin towards your chest. And then bring your head back up. Sit nice and tall. Good. Everybody's going to take their right hand down. Left arm's going to come up, just into a side stretch. Try not to collapse too much into your right shoulder. Just think about lifting up and away from your left hip. See if you can breathe into this rib cage. One more breath. Good job, guys. Just let your shoulder come forward, actually. So we're going to frame this right knee. You can walk your hands away from yourself if that feels okay. And just let your forehead come down. So the stretch that we're looking for is on the left side of our back. That's what we want to be under most tension or find the most length through. So you can even walk your left hand a little farther away. You might find a better feeling there. One more breath. And then gently coming all the way back up. Good. Just relax your shoulders, sit nice and tall. We will switch our cross. So whichever stack or tuck you've had there, opposite leg forward. And drop your chin towards your chest. And this time, take your hands behind your back. So you have two options. You can tent on your fingertips and squeeze your shoulders together. If it feels okay to interlace, then try to interlace and pull your hands away from your back. Don't clench your teeth here. Relax your jaw. Let's take one more breath. And then bring your head back up. Let go. And we will do the opposite side stretch. So left fingertips down for you guys, right arm up and over. See if you can breathe into that rib cage like you're blowing up a balloon. Good job. And then our shoulder is going to roll forward. So we're going to bring that right hand to find the ground. You can walk it away from yourself. Just lengthen the right side of your back as best as you can. And one more deep breath. And then bring your hands back towards your knees and everything back to the center. Great job, everyone. Okay, so let's come on to hands and knees here. I'm just going to warm up through our back a little bit. So hands directly underneath of your shoulders into a nice strong table. And let's do tops of the feet to the floor to start out with. And just take your hips side to side. So just organic movement. Do whatever feels good to lean one way and then back over to the other side. And come back to the center. We're gonna curl our toes under and go through a few cat-cows. So following our breath, inhaling as you look forward, lift your tailbone, exhale, round your spine. Keep going through this. We want to find as much range of motion as we can, and that's really what it's about. Don't worry too much about the end destination or even your pace. Follow your breath. Take one more of each. So one more cow, one more cat, and then just in your own time, let's lift up to our first downward dog of the morning. Just to pedal our feet, wake up the back sides of our legs, however we need to do that. Right off the bat, remind yourself to relax your neck, relax your face. Next time you bend your right knee, just hang out here for a moment. Try to really press into the left heel. And then switch sides. Take a couple deep breaths. Good. Just come back to downward dog. Find your core. So belly to spine and gently everybody down to your knees. Awesome. Tops of the feet to the ground. So we're going to come down onto our forearms. Down to our forearms and just touching our palms together in front of us. Take your left leg back. So extend back through your heel. Maybe point and flex a couple of times. And then we're going to cross our shin over top of that right shin. So just like we do shoelace when we're in a reclined position, try to stack your thighs, stack your knees, and then walk your ankles apart from each other. And just press back into wherever you find a nice stretch here. You can bring your forehead down. Usually, for most of us, it'll be your front hip that gets most of this stretch, but it could really be anywhere through your low back or through either leg. One more breath. Bring yourself forward, so shoulders are stacked over the elbows here, and uncross. We're going to come up to downward dog, so give your knees a little break. You could also take child's pose here instead if you prefer. And if you're going to come up to downward dog with me, then let's just hold steady. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Just think of some of those foundational checkpoints that we like to go through. Feel like you're in an upside down V. Press away from your hands. One more breath. Belly to spine. Gently, we're going to come down to our knees here again. And we're going to take one more time, tops of the feet to the floor. So coming to our forearms, extending the right leg back behind you. Find your glute muscle, so it's fine to lift that leg up. Point and flex or draw circles as you wish, whatever feels best. And then we'll cross our knee over that left knee. And try to walk your ankles apart from each other before you press back towards your hips or your sit bones, wherever you find that nice stretch. Good job. Keep breathing. One more breath. Good work. Bring yourself back forward, uncross. So we're going to stay kneeling just for a moment. So tops of the feet to the ground, come up onto your hands, and then we'll walk our hands closer to the knees. So we're on our shins. Think of pressing the fronts of your ankles or the tops of your feet into the mat. If it feels tight, then just go into it slowly or stay forward a bit. If you come all the way into it and you want to go back, you can try to lift your knees. Good job. One more breath. Excellent work. Okay, come forward. Let's lift up to downward dog. We're just using it as a checkpoint between here and coming to standing. So just take a moment to lower your heels, try to feel like you're in the pose, and then look forward. And we'll just take a couple of steps towards our hands. Coming to standing nice and slowly. Stack your spine. Kind of anchor through your tailbone. Stack everything up here to the top. Awesome. So let's stay standing for a moment. Right foot forward, left foot back. Coming to warrior one. So plant that back foot. Lots of strength through your back hip. So try to really feel the connection from the left hip to the left ankle. And then with your hands to your hips, just try to square yourself as best as you can to the front edge of your mat. Nice work. Arms coming up. Just relax your shoulders, lift your gaze. Breathe. I'll take one more breath. We're going to hinge forward. So folding forward, straightening this front leg if we can. Coming into a modification of pyramid. So just do the best you can. If you can touch the floor, that's great. If you can't, then just keep your hands maybe to your hips or up to the top of your thigh. And just think in your mind of pulling this right hip crease back. Take one more breath. We're going to bend our front knee. We're going to push into our foot. So come all the way back up, warrior one. Deep breath in through your nose. Open up to warrior two. So facing the left edge or the long edge of your mat. Just teeing your arms out from your shoulders. We're going to follow our breath through a little standing flow. So inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, come back to warrior two. A couple more times. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, reverse. Good job, guys. Exhale. Warrior two. Just hold here. Try to reach through your back fingers. We're going to windmill our hands, our arms down to the mat. Step back to downward dog, or you're welcome to make your way to child's pose because we're just holding steady in whatever position you've chosen. Strong legs and strong core if you're in downward dog. So you can start to engage your quad muscles a little bit. Pull your knees back, especially those of you who have bent knees in the position. One more breath. And then let's all meet in table. So either coming forward or gently lowering to your knees. Tops of the feet to the floor. Everybody's going to take their right hand underneath of their nose. Open up your left arm. So inhale, reach up. Just hold here for a moment. Try to take your neck into the twist as well. So look up if you're able to. Push away from the floor. You should feel like your bottom arm is nice and stacked. So especially the elbow, try to get it in on that stack. One more breath. Good job. Both hands to the mat. Lift up, downward facing dog. And then look forward towards your hands. You can step or you can hop. Inhale, let's lift halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Come all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach up, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice work. Right foot back, so right back, left forward, setting ourselves up for warrior one. Square your hips, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling, and just relaxing our shoulders away from the ears. Try to feel nice and open across your collarbones and your heart space. Look straight, guys. Strong back leg. Take one more breath. We're going to hinge forward, so pull the left hip back. Reach towards the ground if you can, or just take your hands as you need to on this side. Keep thinking of pulling the left hip crease back. One more deep breath. Bend your knee and then push into the floor. Lift your chest all the way up here. One breath. Exhale, warrior two. Facing the right edge of your mat. Good. Tee your arms. Try to look forward over your front finger. Follow your breath. So inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Couple more times. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, reverse. Warrior two. Hold here. Take a breath. We're going to windmill down. So square your hips. Bring yourself to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. Or again, child's pose, whatever you choose. Try to connect with your breath for a moment. Take one nice, really deep breath. And then gently meeting in table so we can do that twist to the opposite side. So tops of the feet, your left hand's under your nose. Right arm's gonna reach up. Look up if you can. Try to really think about trying to touch the ceiling. So full extension of our arms if we can create that. One side always feels different than the other, so just take a moment for reflection and then bring both hands down. Good job. Let's all take child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide. We're gonna stretch our triceps this morning. So once you get into the position, let's bring the palms together and spread your fingers really nice and wide. So each finger should kind of have a partner. Bend your elbows and just see if you can get the thumbs towards the base of your neck. If you feel like you can go a bit deeper, then just keep walking your elbows forward just a tiny bit. Keep breathing. We're going to take one more breath. And let your arms reach to the front of your mat. We're going to pull our bodies forward and let's come to our first plank. So nice, strong plank pose. You certainly can have your knees down if that feels best this morning. Table's not wrong either. But think about the strength of your upper body. So pushing away from the floor. It's like we're in the top of a push-up. See if you can squeeze every muscle you can find. So belly to spine, certainly. Also your quad muscles, your glutes. One nice steady deep breath. Lift your hips, downward dog. Look forward towards your hands. Step or hop. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold and come all the way up. Deep breath in. Reaching up. Exhale. And sorry. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to step our feet as wide as our mat. And just turn your toes out so that they're just falling to the floor beside. Good. So try to feel like your sit bones are engaged or your glutes are engaged. It's that pie shape through our hips. Reach both arms all the way up. We're going to fold with this leg position. Exhale. Kind of swan dive forward. And then just get comfortable with how this feels. So sometimes it's quite tight in the backs of your knees. You can shift your weight forward and back a little bit, little rocks. But we're trying to keep straight legs here or work towards straight legs. So really lift up through your sit bones. And then let's take both hands over towards the right foot or that right edge of your mat. If you get here, you can wrap your right hand behind your calf muscle. Hold on to your leg, have a stare down with your knee. Good job, guys. Come back to the center. Everybody take a little bend in their knees and ragdoll yourself up to standing. So tuck your tailbone, stack your shoulders, Straight legs at the top, and we will reach behind our back. So we're going to interlace our hands. See if you can press the palms together and go straight down with your thumbs or with your knuckles here. Feel your chest open, so look up, relax your jaw. Just neutralize your spine, so come back to center. You can bend your elbows if you need to do that. Give your arms a little shake. Good job. Inhale, let's reach all the way up. Exhale, fold towards your feet. Again, staying here. You can shift your weight forward and back again if that felt okay to you. Otherwise, just take your hands down where they land. Feel like you're folding as best as you can over those pockets or creases of your hips. And then we'll go over towards the opposite foot this time. Left foot, I believe. Have a little stare down with your knee. And again, you could wrap your hand around the back of your leg if that feels okay in terms of balance. Make sure you're breathing. Good job, guys. And let's come back to the center. So we still want just a little softness in the knees, a little baby bend, but we're going to slide our hands up to our hips. Squeeze towards your spine to stand. So walk your eyes forward, your chest forward. Engage your glutes and your hips at the top. Okay. Let's reach up. So your palms are going to face towards me. Bend your elbows. Pull your hands back. Lift up through your sternum. Good job. Reach all the way up. Just let your hands come down beside you. Roll your shoulders. Okay, so we're going to come back towards the front of our mat. Another little flow sequence here. So feet nice and close together. Tadasana. Stand nice and tall. Bring your hands to heart center. Really roll your shoulder blades towards your back pockets. Good job. Follow your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Let's take our hands down, step back to plank. Strong, steady plank pose for one breath. In through your nose, lower all the way to your belly. Try to hug your elbows in. Cobra once we get here. So inhale, fill your chest up. Exhale, lower down. Child's pose or downward dog. And just take a couple of breaths. Focus on your exhale. Our bodies are warm at this point. The inhale is going to feel more natural. So just work on emptying your lungs. Try to make space for all that nice new air. We're going to make our way back to a plank pose. So however you need to get there. If you're coming from downward dog, keep strong arms. So push away from the floor. Just find the steady pose. Take one more breath. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. Everybody's going to take child's pose. Big toes together, knees nice and wide if that feels okay. And let's keep our arms reaching forward. So try to find a nice stretch along either side of your back. Those spinal extensor muscles that get quite tight. So try to think about each side of your body independent of each other this morning. So right fingertips all the way back to that right sit bone. Left fingertips back to the left sit bone. Try to lengthen those points away from each other as best as you can. Just breathe into that tightness across your back. One more breath. Go ahead and look forward. We're going to bring our shoulders forward over top of our wrists here, downward dog. Just one deep breath. As you're ready, look forward, step or hop towards your hands. Finish it off. So inhale, lengthen your back. Exhale as you fold. Come all the way up. Deep breath in, reach nice and tall. Exhale. Keep Keep going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale as we fold. Halfway lift. And then just take your fingertips to the mat for a moment. So we're going to go slow into this. We're going to step our right foot wide. So to that right edge of your mat. Left foot is going to step back. And you might need to hop back a couple of times. We're making our way into a lizard lunge. So we want the knee and the foot to be wider than our hip. Two options. If you want this to be a little more strength focused, then think of the same frame we would create in plank. If you want a deeper stretch, then take your left knee down. Just breathe, whichever you've chosen to do. There's always the option in lizard to roll to that outside edge of your foot if that feels okay through the right leg. You guys pick. Take one more breath. We're going to step back to plank from here. Strong and steady. Let's all take our knees down for a moment. Lift your toes, so point your toes, and we're going all the way down to the belly. Just stay here with your chin to the mat. Let's come into Sphinx pose. So to come into Sphinx, we just need to slide the hands forward. Your elbows are going to be essentially where your hands would be in Cobra. Spread your fingers and then push away from the ground. So it's actually a lift through the front side of our body. You can create a little energy if you were to imagine like pushing into the floor and pulling yourself forward. That's the connection that we want to find. I haven't done this one in a while. My chest muscles are shaking. Take a deep breath. Good job. Go all the way down. And gently making our way to downward dog. Up and over. Always a good idea to counter stretch your back. Let's take one more deep breath. This time to come forward, why don't we challenge our flexibility a little bit? So lift high on your tippy toes and then see if you can walk with straight legs. Towards your hands, you can lift up your palms if you need to. Bring your feet all the way underneath of yourself and just hang in this fold for a moment. So if your hands are at the floor, just work on lifting up through the back of your legs. If you want to take ragdoll, that's a great one here too. Whatever you've chosen to do, try to relax your shoulders and your jaw. Let some of that compression drain from our upper back. Little bend in our knees. We're going to come all the way up. Let's take our arms up towards the ceiling as we stand this time. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Awesome. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Take your time. So again, just tense your fingertips, step your left foot wide, and then the right foot's going back. Lizard lunge. A good rule of thumb to remember, you guys are all very proficient, but remember to keep your knee either on the ankle or behind the ankle, not forward towards your toes. That's just for the pressure on the knee, really. And then just pick what you'd like to do on this side. Good job, guys. If your knee is open, then bring your foot flat, step back. One more plank pose today. A strong plank. Again, everybody, just take your knees down exactly where they land. Pick your toes up. Bring your chest down towards the mat. So hug your elbows in. We're going to come to Sphinx pose one more time. So arms forward. This time, maybe think about your feet as well. So think about lengthening your legs away from your hips. heart space forward. If anybody wants to come to seal, we're just going to lift the elbows. Squeeze your glutes. Take one more breath. Good job. Lowering to the elbows, come all the way down and take just one cheek to the mat here. And a little sway side to side with your hips. So kind of rock across your low back. Try to relax your glutes. Let's do a quad stretch while we're down here. So you can bring your right hand or right arm just underneath of your forehead and then try to get a hold of that left foot, ankle, or pants is always a good yoga hack. So you can grab a hold of your pants. Breathe. And let's switch sides. So just let go. Opposite hand underneath. Good job. Let go of your foot. Hands underneath of our shoulders. We're going to lift to our final downward dog of the morning. Last one's the best one, so try to really think about feeling like your hips are the highest point of the peak. 2 nice, strong, straight lines if we can. So from your wrist all the way up through the elbows, the shoulders, to your SI joints, so to the very low back. And then from your sit bones down to the backs of your knees, your heels. See if you can feel those 2 lines. Take one more breath. And then let's gently come down to our knees here. And we are going to come to a seated position as you are ready. Okay, so in our seated position, let's sit with one leg stacked or crossed, whatever you prefer. Just sit nice and tall. Just a little circulation building. So go towards the right, how about? And just draw some big circles with that upper body. Imagine you're stirring a bowl, which we are, the pelvic bowl. Switch directions. All the way around. Good. And then just come back up to sit nice and tall here. Reach your arms nice and wide. We're going to take eagle. Whatever arm you want to bring underneath is fine. We're just going to do one side this morning. So wrap your hands as around as you can. You could always grab for the backs of your shoulders here too if you needed to. And just play with the position of your hands and your chin. So you might want to tuck your chin. You might want to lift your fingertips. Most importantly, breathe into the center of your back, the scapula. So this morning, let's start to bring our elbows down, so down towards your chest, and then see if you can drop your hands forward. Good. And release that. Shake. Okay, let's take both legs forward here. So we're going to do a little series of seated forward folds this morning. So just try to be as, intentional as you can about each one. So sitting nice and tall, if you want to, we could take our hands back here for a moment. We're beside you, kind of push away from the ground. So just be tented in whichever position you've chosen and try to really lengthen your legs forward. Good, reach your arms all the way up. At first here, toes towards the ceiling and hands towards the toes. So tops of the feet, if you can get there. One more breath. And just let your spine kind of roll back up. So just let your arms relax. Come all the way back up here. Okay, let's turn our toes open. So baby toes towards the ground. Reminder, our body wants to do this because it's way easier. So try to still lengthen through your heels, and when we reach forward, we'll go backs of the hands together. So towards the instep, reach all the way up, belly to spine. Keep reaching as you fold. Reach, reach, reach. See if you can get to the instep. Sometimes we're a little more flexible in this variation. It's a great back stretch as well. So just breathe into that. Good job, you guys. Again, just release. Roll yourself back up. Awesome. So from here, we're going to keep left leg extended. Let's bend the right knee. Two options. So first one, of course, is to bring the bottom of our foot in. If you want to, you could do half hero. So taking your heel towards the back. It's just whatever you want to do with this knee. Reach all the way up. Oh, those things are relentless. We have a friend. Fold forward. One leg. Good job. And again, just bring yourself all the way back up. Last seated stretch is the opposite leg. So sit nice and tall. Again, foot to the inside or back, whatever you choose. Reach up, fold forward. Reach and fold. Good job. Make sure you're breathing. See if you can soften your eyebrows here, your sinuses, anywhere you can track and release, even the tops of your shoulders. So just notice if you're kind of squeezing shoulders towards your ears. Great work. Gently bring yourself all the way back up. All righty, my friends. So we get to lay down. When you first lay down, just do what feels good for a moment. Let's get our backs set up and feeling nice. Okay. So as you're ready, we're going to take our hands and create like a little triangle shape. So put your thumbs together and your index fingers together. That's going to go underneath of our tailbone or our sacrum. So lift your hips just a little bit. Maybe lift your shoulders as well. Just make sure everything's kind of tucked in. And then take both feet up towards the ceiling. So this just takes a little bit of pressure off of that low back. You can really fidget as you want to here. You could do like bicycles, or you could just keep your legs lifted, roll your ankles, whatever feels good. Just a couple moments. And then bend your knees and just let your feet find the floor. Directly from here, place your feet down. Let's lift up to bridge. So squeeze your glutes. Walk your shoulders underneath of your back. And our natural sort of direction with the legs is that our knees want to migrate open. So try to engage your adductors, those inner thigh muscles. And then just try to recognize that exact spot at the top of your spine that's connected. We're going to gently place ourselves down here, one vertebrae at a time. Good job. Just tee your arms out from your shoulders and let both knees go towards the left. We'll just stay in this little twist. Find your core, so ask yourself to kind of draw that belly in. Bring your knees back to center. We're gonna lift to bridge again. This time, let's bend our elbows, so fingertips are gonna point towards the ceiling. And that just allows us to come slightly higher. So as you lift up, drive down through your elbows. Push your triceps into the floor. See if you can lift your sternum or your chest closer to your chin. Good job, guys. Strong and steady. One more breath. Gently rolling or placing our vertebrae down here again. One at a time. Tee your arms out once you get there and take both knees towards the right. Or opposite of what you just did. One more breath. And gently bring our knees back to the center, and then let's lengthen our legs down here for a moment. Give our knees a little break. So we're gonna reach our arms towards the ceiling. Just get really heavy through your shoulders. You can draw some circles with your wrists. And then we're gonna interlace our fingers. So interlacing however feels natural. Invert, so push your palms towards the ceiling. Try to keep your elbows nice and straight if you're able to, and lower your pinkies towards the floor overhead. So just like we do when we reach our arms up in a standing or a seated position, same idea. Notice if your rib cage or your back is really arched away from the floor. While we're here for a moment, just see if you can ground through your middle back just a little bit more. Draw your rib cage together. Good job. Bring your arms back overhead. Go back towards the ceiling. And then just let go. Give your wrists a little shake out. Good job. Okay. How about we do right knee in towards our chest. And at first, think of squeezing just directly towards this, like the sternum or the collarbone, kind of straight in a line towards your chin. And then we're going to move it way over and try to squeeze your knee towards your right shoulder. So drop your hip towards the outside. Squeeze to your armpit or your shoulder. Good. Come back towards the center. Squeeze in again. And then back towards the right shoulder. So move your leg over as best as you can. This time, let's let go with the left hand. Just take it out beside you as a little counterbalance. See if you can create that little tripod or kickstand with your right arm. So bend your elbow, just hold. Great job, you guys. So from here, we're going to cross over towards the left shoulder. So switch your hands. Not a supine twist, so we don't want to go all the way into stacked hips. We just want to draw our knee towards the opposite shoulder. Lift your right hip just enough that you find that good stretch in the glute. Just for a breath. Good job, guys. And then to your back and do whatever feels good here for a moment. So just let go. Reset. And we'll work with our opposite leg when you're ready. So drawing knee in, again thinking more towards the center as we're here. It always lands a little differently in that hip crease. So you might not feel like you can really hug it in much, but you'll reach kind of a point of tension or resistance there. And then we'll move it way over. So open your leg, go towards the shoulder or the armpit. Good groin stretch. And then back to the center. And again, over towards the shoulder. So opening up. We can let go with the right hand now and just see if your elbow can find the ground. Alrighty, so last piece of the puzzle here, just switch hands. So drawing across towards your opposite shoulder now. Just lifting your hip again enough that you find a nice stretch. Good job. And then release. And let go of your leg as you wish. Give everything a little shake out. So we did that shoelace position when we were kneeling, when we crossed one shin over the opposite. So let's do that in a reclined position to see how it feels now that we're towards the end of class. So right thigh across the left. And then as you draw your legs in, reach left hand to that right ankle, so that top ankle first. And then you might get the bottom ankle if you reach around. Just hug your legs in. Just try to let your upper back stay nice and connected. And notice if you're squeezing or clenching at all with the sides of your neck or with your shoulders or your traps. Just relax there. We don't need those muscles. And let's just switch. So opposite thigh over. Reach for your top ankle, and then you might get down to that bottom one. Great job. One more breath. Beautiful. All right, uncross. Do as you wish here. The last thing we're going to do before Shavasana is an inversion. Happy baby would be a good one if you want a little more stretch. You could do that legs up, hands up, jellyfish I call it, or shoulder stand. If shoulder stand is in your practice. Okay, you guys, so just bring yourselves out of that as you are ready. You are invited to set up in whatever you would like this final couple of minutes to look like. Always just an awesome idea to let our bodies kind of absorb that good work that we put into them. And so the goal is nothing. The goal is just to try, allow your body to feel nice and heavy into the mat. If you're a mind wanderer, then I remind you of the belly breath. You could take your hands to your abdomen. Take some deep breaths all the way down just to fill your lungs, but just relax. Just start to wiggle your fingers a little bit, wiggle your toes, a little movement back into our hands and our feet. And then just bend your knees. You could draw your knees to your chest, or you could just do a couple little windshield wipers with your feet planted. And then take your time making your way back up to seated. So you can roll to your side if you want to, or you can get up. Everybody kind of has their way, but they like to do have a friend. Can't. Should be. There's got to be like
that way.
traps.
He did come all the way over to visit you once. Oops.
Okay, so we're gonna finish our class as we like to do every time. So sitting nice and tall in whatever leg position helps you just think about your posture, all about visualizing this nice tall stack of our spine. And so just notice exactly where you're connected through your sit bones, the entire pelvic bowl. So as a reminder, just really see if you can feel the sit bones. Notice exactly where your tailbone is, where the front points of your hips are, and the pubic bone. And we want to stack ourselves up directly over that structure. And just see if you can use your breath to lengthen tall. So every inhale we take, we're going to find new height through the crown of our head. It's sort of infinite energy. As you exhale, just try to retain the posture, relax your shoulders. And just notice overall how it's much more energetic in this position. So drawing your awareness towards the spine, your muscles towards the spine, and then lots of space in the abdomen. So a little more natural engagement through the core. We're going to take one more deep breath. So in through your nose. Exhale, let your whole body go. So just surrender to wherever gravity is going to take you. This morning, every day is a little different. Just try not to resist against it. So go to where you feel your absolute heaviest. And we're going to stay here for a few moments, because the tendency is that we get heavier and heavier as we're here. So try to relax the front side of your body, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, your cheeks. And then in your mind's eye, just find that tailbone one more time. And our last task is to stack our spine. So anchoring that tailbone, and imagine like you're placing each and every vertebrae on top of each other until you find yourself back up And this morning's perfect for you posture. Good job, everybody. We're gonna bring our hands to heart center. Closing this morning's class, taking thumbs to forehead, kind thoughts to mouth, kind words to chest, kind hearts. Namaste.
Namaste.
Happy Saturday. You're welcome. You are welcome.
And I'm going to be playing cookie again on Monday.
Oh,
Okay. I'm driving to Saskatchewan tomorrow for the week, so I will miss Monday and Saturday.